How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of the TMJFB post-draft power rankings. We have our number 10 and our number 9 team going today. Again, if you're a sub that usually doesn't look for this kind of thing, if you want an insight to our league, cool. If not, league, hope you're enjoying it, and I'm just going to jump right in because why not, okay? So let me pull up our doc, our lovely doc. So if just to remind Tom, number 12 was the Young Bucks, number 11 was the Nittany Tide, and I think that we're going to have a little bit more surprises going forward. At this point, I think that all the teams are really strong this year, but number 10, I'm coming in at Dip City. I had them pretty low on the preseason draft ranks. It might have been around 9 or 10, actually. I should probably look that up before I do these. But I'm putting Dip City into this spot again. I was very curious to see how they would do. They had $90 worth of cap. How would they do having that much cap again? Could they pull off another one of these great teams that we constantly see with very little, or a lot of money, I should say? The big difference between last year and this year is this year Mookie Betts costs basically $25, whereas Mookie Betts last year cost a single dollar, it's like a $1.30 or something like that. I'll start with the positives that I really like about this team, and I will just highlight them very quickly. Boom and boom, right there. To me, that Anthony Rendon, Mookie Betts, and Ronald Acuna are essentially, I don't know, they're all in the top 10 hitters. I would say. I mean, Betts and Acuna are clear top 5 hitters, and Rendon's probably in the top 15 without really much question. So that's incredible, obviously, and that's kind of the studs and duds approach. I really like the Mondesi deal. I was disappointed to see that Shawnee didn't give him more years on that contract because I really feel like Mondesi is a top 5 shortstop in the league, and it's going to continue to get better. He's only like 24 years old, and I was trying to signal across the room like, hey, give him some years, but it didn't happen. But for this year, he's my 4th favorite player on this entire squad. Where I do need to knock the squad a little bit more is basically everywhere else to me. And we'll start with the outfield really here, and I'm going to leave these guys highlighted just to show. I've heard rumors of Eddie Rosario not even starting. I can't imagine that's going to be the case, but that's what I have heard. I've heard rumors of Tommy Edman not even starting. That one might have a little bit more to it because he needs to be able to hit to play, and he hasn't really proven that he can do that. I expect Ryan Mountcastle will probably start instead of Eric Hosmer. Hosmer is not really a strong first base, a starting first base. I've done that before. It doesn't really work the way you ever think it will. When we were battling for Mike Moustakas, I was looking at him as a fill-in and bench player, whereas it looks like he's likely to start here, and that's fine. Both of these guys, I'm not convinced will close in a week or two, but luckily there's cap to kind of combat that, so that's fine. That's totally fine. Where the real reason that Dip City is so low in my rank, though, is the starting pitching. It's not top heavy, and there's not really much depth to it either. So Kenta Maeda proved me wrong last year. I didn't think that he would have a good season. I didn't think he was more than kind of a number 3. But he proved me wrong, and he became, basically an ace. I guess he changed one of his changeups or something, and it made him, 10 times better. So if he can continue to do that, then this is a nice price. But after that, I feel like it's a lot of total flyers. Like, who do you trust in this mix to really start every week, no matter what? I've owned Kevin Gausman for a long time, and it's not him. I can tell you that. Maybe Keuchel, but I mean, do you really trust Dallas Keuchel going against Houston? Do you really like that matchup? I don't. And it's not like there's a really deep amount of good starting pitching, or at least depth guys on the bench. Odorizzi just got signed by Houston. It's a good signing. Hopefully it works for him, but I'm not sure. Dane Dunning is a bit of an unknown. I was thinking more years would go here since he's still kind of technically he's an older prospect, but he's playing for Texas, so who knows what you're going to get out of all that. And so it's just you don't see the depth of the pitching. If you had like 8 of these guys in on your team, I might feel better because then you can oh, John Means is going against some Texas. Let me get him in there. Oh, Gosman's going against Miami. Maybe I'll throw him in there. But these guys are going to have to start basically every single week against whoever they're playing, which is not really a great thing because the rest of your starters are down here and they got capped to kind of pick up guys as they need to. But as of right now, the depth of starting pitching is holding them so far back that I feel like the mountain that is these guys is getting chipped away, if you will. So that's my number 10. And moving on, another surprise potentially for a lot of you, number 9 is going to be Springfield. Springfield, a team that's historically been very good, a team that likes to go for it, and that's what you should do. We're here to win. We're not here to for draft picks. We're not here for the fans necessarily. We're here to win fantasy baseball. So it's a team that goes for it, which I really like, and I will start with the things that I really like, which is right here, kind of like Shawnee's team. This core right here is really solid. It's a bit expensive right here. I don't know if I love the Arenado trade, but I think I'm going to save the details of that trade for Sean Pear when we get to it. I personally, just to give you a tidbit though, I think Trevor Story outscores Arenado, and I think that Arenado being 2 years at this price isn't the greatest contract in the world. It's something that I think that he could have gotten in auction right now. Just to think like Matt Chapman made under $5. Not that Matt Chapman's as good as Arenado, but you see Jose Ramirez last year made $11.25. So I can't imagine Arenado would have gotten close to this in the auction this year, but I could be wrong. So we'll see. I don't love the contract, but it's okay. It's still fine. This core right here is fantastic. Ketel Marte, I love this. I was actually surprised he gave him 3 years just on the basis that Marte is going to play outfield, I think, this year, and then he's going to move forward just playing outfield. So he's got less value as just an outfielder, I think. But we'll see as that goes on. I really like the Luke Voigt contract. So that stuff to me is great. I really like the offense, just like Shawnee's team. His is a little more spread out, whereas, let me bring Shawnee's team back in the mix here. Shawnee's team is kind of top heavy, whereas Springfield is more spread out, which I really like. As you know, I like the spread out. Love the bent, love this contract. That's really good. Alec Baum could go like high upside guys. Okay, really like that. That's great. But now we got to get into the pitching category. So with Dip City, we have like kind of depth, but once you get down here, there's absolutely nothing, right? With Springfield, we have 2 guys who have performed pretty well. I think the consensus is that Lance Lynn will not perform as well as he has been, but still a very solid guy. Plesac is also solid, but after these 3, and let me be clear, these 3 are not DeGrom and Bieber and Cole or Bueller or Bauer. These guys are kind of that second to third tier kind of guys, which can be fine if you support that with some decent, 5th tier kind of guys, but we don't see that at all. Unfortunately, somebody out of this mix in here is like, these guys are going to have to start every week. Even if all 3 of these guys have 2 starts every single week, you're going to have to pick 2 of these guys to start. So assuming that they're not on 2 starts, then all 5 of these guys are going to have to pitch against you, and I can almost guarantee that whoever somebody else is throwing out there, even Mike Minor and Dallas Keuchel are significantly better than these guys down here. Merrill Kelly's coming off an injury. Tigers, who knows with Pineda, he's always hurt. Garrett Richards always hurt. Who knows what we're going to get. Pretty sure I just saw Hauser is hurt as well, unless I'm getting confused with Lim. No, I'm pretty sure it was Hauser is hurt as well. So he did kind of take some flyers down here to try to combat that, which I get and I appreciate and understand that. But I think that this starting pitching is just as much of an issue as it is for Shawnee. They're very similarly built teams with pretty solid offenses, even though they're constructed differently. The pitching depth and even the relief pitching as a whole for both of these teams, I think is going to be a massive concern. And they're going to have to be active on the wire. They both have the cap to do it, but they're going to be competing for the same people. So I think that the starting pitching is trouble for both because there's just no depth. It's going to be a long season, and when you have Pineda as your essentially your number 4, it's gonna be trouble. And these guys are not top tier guys. Anyway, that's number 10. That's number 9. Look forward to the next one. See you tomorrow.